Today I'm sharing 7 pieces of retirement advice that didn't come from financial planners or retirement calculators. They came from real retirees, people who've been living this for years and know what they wish they'd done differently. Let's talk about what actually works in retirement. The first piece of advice: know what your retirement lifestyle is going to cost before you retire. Not a rough estimate, not "we'll probably spend less." Real numbers. Are you going to be comfortable living on $3,000 a month, or do you actually need $6,000 to feel secure? Are you the type who's happy staying at home, cooking meals, enjoying simple pleasures? Or do you need travel, dining out, entertainment to feel fulfilled? Here's what happens if you get this wrong. You retire thinking you'll be fine on $4,000 a month, and then 3 months in, you realize you're actually spending $6,000. And now you're either going back to work, drastically cutting your lifestyle, or watching your savings evaporate faster than you had planned. Most people's expenses don't go down in retirement, at least not in the first few years. Why? Because suddenly you have time. Time to travel, time for hobbies, time to do all the home improvements you've been putting off, time to go out to lunch with friends. All of that costs money. So what should you do? Before you retire, track your spending for at least 6 months. Then ask yourself what will change in retirement. Some things will go down. You won't have the cost of commuting. You won't be buying work clothes. And you'll probably eat out less because you're too tired to cook. But other things will go up. Travel, entertainment, hobbies, healthcare. Figure out your real number, not the number you hope for. The number you'll actually need to live the life you want. The second piece of advice from retirees: start saving as early as humanly possible. If you're in your 20s or 30s and watching this, start now, not next year, not when you get that raise, now. You can never have too much money in retirement. Never. A lot of retirees will tell you their biggest regret is not starting to save earlier. I hear this constantly. I wish I'd started in my 20s instead of my 40s. I wish I hadn't spent so much on things I don't even remember buying. I wish I'd taken the need to save for retirement more seriously. When we're young, retirement feels a million years away. It's natural to want to enjoy your life now, not squirrel away money for some distant future. But here's the thing. Compound interest is real. Starting at 25 versus starting at age 40 can mean the difference between a comfortable retirement and a tight one. Even if you start late, start anyway. Starting at 40 is better than starting at 50. Starting at 50 is better than starting at 60. You work with what you've got. But if you're young and watching this, do not make the mistake of thinking you have time, because you don't. Start now. The third piece of advice: engage in purposeful activities in retirement, because retirement isn't just about not working. Now, I'm not talking about just activities of any kind. I'm talking about purposeful ones. There's a difference. Activities are things you do to fill time, like binge watching Netflix, playing golf, going to lunch. Purposeful activities are things that give your life meaning, things that make you feel like you're contributing, learning, growing. Here's some things you could do. You could learn a new language, not because you have to, but because it challenges your brain and opens up new possibilities. You could volunteer at an animal shelter or a food bank. A literacy program. Helping others gives your days structure and meaning. You could mentor someone in your former field. Your decades of knowledge don't have to retire just because you did. Build something, like a YouTube channel. That's what I'm doing. A consulting practice, a passion project. Create something that matters to you and potentially helps others. Here's a true story I love. One retiree I know was an avid pickleball player before she retired. After she retired, she became a traveling brand ambassador for a company that runs pickleball leagues throughout several southern states. She gets to play pickleball and share her passion for the sport and make money, all while traveling, meeting new people, and doing something she absolutely loves. She gets so much satisfaction from it. It provides her with purpose, structure, and connection. It has made her retirement meaningful. The point is, you can have all the activities in the world, but if nothing you're doing feels purposeful, retirement is going to feel kind of empty. Find something that matters, something that makes you feel like you're contributing, not just consuming. The fourth piece of advice, and this is a big one, do not compare your retirement to anyone else's. This is hard. It goes against the grain of human nature. Your friend is taking 5 vacations a year. You can afford 1, maybe 2. Your former colleague bought a new car in retirement. You're driving your 10-year-old Honda. Your neighbor is renovating their kitchen. You're making do with what you've got. And it's so easy to feel like you're doing retirement wrong, like you're missing out, like you're not successful enough. But as I'm sure you know, comparison is the thief of joy, especially in retirement. You retired based on what works for you, your savings, your lifestyle, your priorities. If you start comparing yourself to people who have more, you're setting yourself up for misery. Instead, retire on what's comfortable for you. Live within your means. If you want more income, find a way to bring it in. Part-time work, a YouTube channel, consulting, whatever lights you up. But don't torture yourself by measuring your retirement against someone else's. The fifth piece of advice, don't wait too long. Retire as soon as you're ready. A lot of retirees said their biggest regret is staying in the workforce too long. An extra 2 years, 5 years, sometimes even 10 years longer than they actually needed to. And almost none of them look back and say, I'm so glad I worked those extra years. Here's why. You're only young once. Even at 60, 62, and 65, you're younger now than you'll ever be again. The things you want to do in retirement, the travel, the adventures, the projects, you want to do them while you're still healthy and energetic. The question you need to ask yourself is, are you going to look back in 10 years and think, I'm so glad I worked that extra year for another $60,000? Or are you going to think, I wish I'd retired 2 years earlier so I could have done that trip, started that project, spent more time with people I love before whatever health issue pops up? Not hard to figure out, is it? The caveat, though, this doesn't mean retire totally unprepared. Don't leap without a plan. But if you're financially ready, if you've got your ducks in a row, don't keep postponing it because you think you'll need just a little bit more. You'll never have enough if the target of what is enough keeps moving. Here is the sixth piece of advice. Find someone or a group of people for emotional support in retirement. You need people. We all need people. Studies show that people live longer and happier lives when they are surrounded by a group of people they enjoy, family or friends. Retirement is not all sunshine and relaxation. There are challenges, uncertainties, moments where you question your decisions. You need people you can talk to, people who understand. If you're part of a church or spiritual community, lean into that. Those connections become even more valuable in retirement. If you have close family members, use them. Bounce ideas off them. Share how you're feeling. Join a retirement group, either in person or online. Find people who are going through the same transition you are. Connect with friends who retired before you did. They've been through it. They know the pitfalls and can help you navigate them. Here's why this matters. Retirement can be isolating if you're not intentional about staying connected, especially if you're single or if your spouse is still working. You need a support system. And there will be moments, maybe not every day, but they'll come where you need someone to talk to who understands what you're going through. Don't try to do this alone. The seventh and final piece of advice, maintain your health. Your health is your wealth. So many retirees say their biggest regret is not taking better care of themselves before retirement. They didn't exercise. They didn't eat well. They thought they had time to worry about it later. And then later came early 60s, mid 60s, and suddenly they're dealing with health issues that could have been prevented or delayed. The reality is you could have millions of dollars in the bank, but if you're 65 with serious health problems, is it going to be a happy retirement? Probably not. Health is the foundation everything else is built on. Protect your health. Start now, not next month, not after the holidays. Now. Move your body regularly. It doesn't have to be intense. Walk, swim, do yoga, anything that keeps you moving. Eat reasonably well. You don't have to be perfect, but we can't eat like we're 25 forever, although I do try. Get regular checkups. Catch problems early when they're easier to manage. Manage your stress level because stress will age you faster than anything else. The bottom line is you're building a retirement that could last 20, 30, even 40 years. Make sure your body can carry you through it. So there you have it, 7 pieces of advice from people who've actually lived in retirement for some time. It's important to listen to the people who've done it, not financial advisors sitting in offices, not retirement calculators, real people who know what works and what doesn't. Know your lifestyle costs before you retire. Start saving as early as possible. Have purposeful activities, not just busy work. Never compare your retirement to anyone else's. Retire as soon as you're ready. Don't wait too long. Find emotional support and take care of your health. These are not sexy. They're not revolutionary, but they're real. And they come from people who've been where you're going. Which piece of advice resonated the most with you? Or if you're already retired, what advice would you add to this list? Please leave a comment below. I read everyone, and I'd love to hear from people who are at this life stage right now making these decisions. If you're planning your retirement or already in it and figuring it out as you go, subscribe because I'm documenting this entire journey, sharing what works and what doesn't. Thanks for being here. Now go take one of these pieces of advice and actually do something with it. See you in the next one.